Hey everyone, it's Kastas Pell here. I'm doing a video in the wee hours of the night, and that's because my shit pops at the fucking nighttime. So I wanted to definitely dive into a video. This video I did a couple times already, but it just never really felt like it was right and finished, and I'm fucking tired of it. So this is my remake of it. So, this video is simply but intriguingly something that I adore doing with my own work, and it's healing through my emotions, honestly. Every time I heal in my emotions, I find different psychic abilities that that has developed or that has always been there, but that are now heightened. I find in myself clarity. I find in myself wounds that I didn't realize were bleeding, being patched the fuck up, being stitched the fuck up. But in that process of me healing, the clarity and the observation of what I've healed has literally been able to aid me in being able to see this in other people. I'm not like going out looking for other people's, blind spot and shit like that. But when these things come to me, because a lot of women actually come to me, and I was never the one to attract that. I was never the one to be like, hey, come to me with all your problems, da 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 da. Not to say that it doesn't, I'm not that type of person, but ever since I've been doing the work on myself, everyone comes to me for advice and they look up to me. I was surprised about that. I'm like, bitch, I do drugs and I drink and I smoke a lot of shit, except bullshit. I'm like, you're looking up to me? And it's only because of the fucking blunt ass work that I've done on myself. I've been able to look at my shit, accept that it's there, and acknowledge it and work with it. I don't believe that the energy that I have in me is necessarily bad energy. I think anything can be converted. That's the whole purpose. Probably spirits walking around. That's the whole purpose of doing inner alchemy. I don't believe energy has to leave me in order for me to be good and all that fancy hunky-dory shit. Like, alchemy, inner alchemy, is not just getting rid of something, getting rid of how you feel about this. It's working with that energy, manipulating that energy, adding different shit, mixing potions up. Like, nigga, do some inner fucking alchemy. Like, in my spirit place, I am at a whole alchemist table. Okay, like, when I'm fucking, that's me doing sexual alchemy. I'm mixing shit. I'm like working with the masculine, the feminine, working on different levels to this shit. Not to get all in my shit, but you know what I'm saying, like alchemy. So that's what I'm fucking adoring about my work. I find myself doing the whole alchemy fucking shuffle with all my shit. So this is just one of my inner alchemic techniques that I have used plenty and many times. And that's literally the flower technique. It's I love calling it the flower technique because I love flowers and shit. So, but I like I like the perspective of this technique because it's always going to go backwards. It's always going to lead to yourself. It's always going to go back within the darkest, most hidden place within yourself. On with the technique. So the reason why I call it the flower technique and the reason why I'm always talking about the different perspective it gives you is because it literally like aids to a different perspective on how you're handling or how you're even manifesting any of your emotions and how they're manifesting rather. So excuse me. So flower technique, I like to start off by saying that this is going backwards within the flower and how it grows naturally on this reality. So you're going to start with petals. Petals being the manifestation of the emotion. Okay? Excuse me. We're going to start with the petals. The petals are the expression, the emotion. Not necessarily the feeling, but definitely the expression of why you're even feeling that, whatever you're feeling. So the reason why it's petals is because the most outward and the most outspoken way, expression of what's really going on from the root of that flower. So the reason why I like to start at the petals is because it's easier. It's easier for you to look at yourself, and it's easier to go backwards within yourself just by looking at this. So I started at my petals, which is just my expression. How am I expressing what I'm feeling right here? Why am I feeling this way? Let's look at it. Okay, this is how I'm expressing it. Bet. So I have to go backwards, going backwards or downwards from the petals. And I find myself at the stem quite often. Always go through the stem. And you find all the information, all the knowledge, all the energy that goes up and blossoms into that whole petal scenario. You find all that information going up and going through the stem, and that's what you have to acknowledge. What's actually coming through? What's coming through to make you even feel or express this, or at least acknowledge what's coming through. Don't judge it. And that was one of the main things that kept me progressing in a lot of my earlier work, for real, was the judgment that I gave myself. Oh, I'm so good at it. I'm so good at judging myself. I was born to judge myself. But the judgments are absolute. And you don't want to put that energy onto your spirit while it's down here. You don't want to give yourself an absolute. That's like giving yourself a ceiling, a border, a wall. It's like giving yourself a cap. And I had to look at that. I was like, okay, that's definitely what I'm doing. But when I stopped judging and I just started observing and acknowledging and accepting what was coming through, it gave me a different perspective. So I started seeing things, okay, that's what's going on. That's what's coming through. I'm not hiding from it. It is what it is. All right, bitch, that shit's in you. Let's do it. Let's see where it's coming from. So that's what my whole STEM process is. It's the acknowledgement. It's the acceptance of whatever's coming through. And I haven't gotten to where it's coming through or why it's coming through until I get to my root. But it takes that acknowledgement and that non-judgment aspect within myself to literally pass through the stem. The stem seems like a whole long and drawn out process. Honestly, it does. But it doesn't have to be. When you start acknowledging it, okay, that's in myself. That's in my spirit. I might have an idea where that come from, but we're getting there. We're going to get to some more pinpointed, more rooted, pun intended, answers. So that STEM process is heavily necessary. It requires you to not judge. It requires you to not judge yourself. It requires you to accept whatever is in there and what's coming through, because it's already coming through. You haven't gotten to the root yet. So, but now getting to the root. When you've reached a point where you have accepted what's coming through and you've acknowledged it, now you're at the root. The root is a very fun place to be in. You find yourself with all the answers, the root of it, the ugly truth, the beautiful lie, all of it. All of it's right there in that root. You might find that root is sickly. You might find that root needs to be uprooted and put in reapplied somewhere else. You might find that plant just might not belong there. You might find that it's dry. You might need to water that root. You might need to give it more sunlight. You might need to put it more around the same environment that it needs to be around. Like, you might need to plant more shit around it. Honestly, there's so many different perspectives you can have when it comes to, finding your root. When you find the root of everything, you have so many options. You could even, on some alchemic shit, I be finding myself splicing shit, cosmic seeds in my head and shit. Go fucking bananas. the point is, you have the option to manifest whatever the fuck you want to manifest. What do you want to manifest? The whole flower technique, the reason why it even developed within myself is because I wanted to get deeper into what, how do I put it? I wanted to get deeper into the like my alchemic shit. Like, I didn't want to be subject to my emotions all the time, because even, despite the fact that I'm also a woman, I am a very emotional sign and shit, and I resonate with very water-esque energies and feminine, floaty, fairy energies. And fairies are some whole niggas, and they always got their feelings in the air. And anywho, always resonating with emotions and energy and sensitivity and vulnerability and the powers that I have in that. Like, it's fucking insane, but I always want to go deeper into it. So that's why I highly recommend it. And the steps are simple. I just don't know what you're going to find. I have to find my own shit. So I can't tell you how long your process is going to be and all that shit. But damn it if it doesn't heal. Because at that point, you have a choice. Once you get to that root, you're at a choice. You're at a choice. You can even you don't have to do shit to it. When you find that root, is that root what you want? Is what manifesting something that you want to continue to manifest within yourself? And hey, I'm just saying, whatever we manifest, whatever petals come from us, is whatever's going to be populated throughout our spirit, through spiritual bees and spiritual hummingbirds and just the gust of the fucking wind. Ride the wave, cowabunga. I'm going to always put that little plug in because I need acid. But other than that, like, I always recommend healing through your emotions. Your emotions are key indicators of, like, what the fuck is really going on in there, bitch. Like, where is this shit stemming from? I find out I still got all these mama issues and daddy issues. Not as much as I used to, but I'm not going to deny that it's there. I'm not going to deny that there's healing that's always afoot. The worst thing I could do is lie to myself about my process, lie to myself about my own healing, and lie to myself about my own delusions and what I accept within myself and what's not really there, what's there. So I only leave with a few things. Don't lie to yourself. Don't judge yourself. And just be real with yourself. Just be real with what you find. Don't be necessarily taken back, because really, you got some fucked up shit in there. It's okay. You will be okay. Ish. You're not supposed to be sane. Whatever sane is. And that's okay. So anyway, it's just a small video. I wanted to put that out there. And yeah, visit my store, Cold Corner Store. I do readings all the time. I do rituals for customers as well. We have tons of candles. I have self-healing candles, vagina candles, chakra penis candles, herb vagina candles, whole bunch of shit. So visit a Cold Corner Store. I appreciate you guys watching my video, and I'll be back soon with more. Goodbye.